Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to learn the most important topic. Before going on lastly to the topic, I'll show you something. Let me just create some classes, say CR1 or C1 and CR2. I have created these two classes. Now I will create two methods in it. Void M1 method and similarly I will create another method, M2 method. Please make a note over here. Similarly, so now CR1 and CR2 both have two methods, M1, M2, M1 and M2. Now what will I do? These two classes I'm having, but what I want is, if I want to call this M1 method, I will create the object of CR1. So I will write CR1 dot M1, right? But what I want to do is, I want to call the method of CR2. I want to call the method of CR2 class. That is, I want to call the M1 method of CR2 through this. Let me just show you how. Assume this is the class CR1 and this is the class CR2. This CR1 has method M1 and M2. This CR2 has method M1 and M2. What I want is, I want to call, where is the shapes? What I want is, I want to call the method of M1 from C2, but I want it, firstly the CR will call M1 method, right? And then I want to call the M2 method of CR2 through this. Now I hope you will get it. Similarly, when I will create the object of CR2, it will call M1 method of CR2. But I want that on calling the M1 method of the CR2, I want it to call the method of CR1 M2. I hope you got the concept. Yes, we are talking about the concept of deadlock. So how will this deadlock happen now? Simply, we will create two classes CR1 and CR2 having these two methods M1, M1, M2 and M2. What I want is, I will create the object of CR1 first and that will call the M1 method, right? When the M1 method is being called, this will need the object of CR2 class to call the M2 method of CR2 class, and vice versa. We will create the object of CR2 class and this will call M1 method. While calling the M1 method, this M1 method need the object of CR1 class to call M2 method. Let's just perform up to here. So this M1 method needs the object of CR2 class so that it can call CR2 dot M2 method, right? Similarly, and let me just print a very simple method over here in M1 of CR1. Okay, that is done. Similarly, I'll just put a message over here in M2 of CR2. Done. come over here. In M1 method, same concept, I'll write over here in M1 of CR2. This M1 method also requires CR1 का object, so that CR1 dot M2 method, M2 method. In M2 method of CR1. Done with the work of these two classes. Now let me just create two classes of threads so that we can create two threads, one for CR1 and the second for CR2. So I will create thread1 class, which is extending thread class, right? And similarly I will create, or we can just copy that up. So what will I do now? I will simply create CR1 का object over here and CR2 का object over here. I will create a constructor of thread1, giving it the values of both CR1, because we have to call the two methods like we have already did in the object synchronization. We have already gone through the concept, so we'll not discuss that over here. Okay, so we will say this dot CR1 is equal to CR1. Similarly, this dot CR2, this dot CR2 is equal to CR2. Done? Define your run method, and in the run method I will do something, that is, I will firstly call the sleep method. Why? Because I want to start these two threads at the same time. So I will do with both of them. Let me just surround it with the try catch. Okay, and after it just woke away by sleeping of 100 seconds, let me just call the CR2 के object say the M1 method and providing it the object of CR1. Okay, that is it. Now similarly we will do the same by creating another class of thread2, so that we can do the same with the thread2 key class. Extends thread here, thread2, same concept over here. Now only I will say CR1 and here is CR2. We will check out it again if we have done something wrong. thread2, that is it. CR1 के call से thread CR2 को call करेंगे. Done. Coming over here in the main method, number 1 point, we will create the object of CR1. Similarly, we will create the object of CR2. Done. Create the two threads. Thread1 T1 is equal to new thread1, pass them the objects. Similarly, thread2 T2 is equal to new, pass them both of the objects. So if you can see, we are sharing both of the objects with these two threads, right? So we will say T1 dot start and T2 dot start. For now, both of these threads are not synchronized. So if both of these two threads are not synchronized, it means they will work differently, right? So it is very much important for both of these threads to be synchronized, because this thread, when work with CR1 object and CR2 object, it will hold one of the objects, right? CR2. So this will hold CR1 ka object, right? CR1 dot M1 it will call, and then it needs CR2 ka object to call the M2 method, correct? Similarly, when we will create the CR1, CR2 object, it will work with CR2 object and will call the CR2 ka M1 method. Now, for this M1 method, it requires CR1 ka object which is already been holded up with the CR1 object, correct? Because it was calling its M1 method. So it is also calling its M1 method. It has been holded the CR2 object. This has been holded with CR1 object. If both of these threads are synchronized, it means it has holded up with CR1, it is holded up with CR2. Now, it needs CR2 ka object to call the M2 method, and this needs CR1 ka object to call M2 method. Because both of them are synchronized and they haven't finished their work up yet, they will enter into a deadlock state. Why? Because both of the methods are not done with their work, and they will definitely not release the object until they are not done. This will direct it to the concept of deadlock. Let me show you how. So this is both of the threads are not synchronized, so they just have done their work properly because they are not synchronized. So when both of the threads become synchronized, okay, let me just see what has done. We have to make this synchronized as well and this synchronized as well. If you can see, both of the objects are on one section. M1 of CR2, M1 of CR1. They will not proceed further. If you can see, the program has also not been terminated. We have to terminate it manually because they has entered into the deadlock state. So this is called as the deadlock of threads. Hope you guys understand the concept. Thank you very much.